So I came across a video today from a YouTuber by the name of Moore's Law is Dead talking about RDNA 2 and the new 30 series cards, and I'd actually like to go through this a little. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's take a look at some pieces of this video.
nVidia is attempting to have their cake and eat it too when it comes to the perceived price performance of their Ampere graphics cards. Basically, nVidia knows that they lost a lot of goodwill from their fans with the much maligned Turing generation, and they needed to win it back before RDNA 2 hit the market. The best way to do that is with a bunch of big numbers and a bunch of low prices. But those prices aren't as low, or they won't be as low in reality as you've been led on to believe. The first place we need to start is a bit of detail into those Founders Edition graphics cards that will be launching with Ampere. In June, Igor's Labs ran a story that confirmed that his sources were telling him that those coolers on the Founders Editions cost at least $150 to manufacture. My source actually concurs with Igor, and he says that if anything, that's a lowball. Those coolers, and I do mean this, are beautiful, are impressive, will work well to cool the power-hungry Ampere graphics cards, but they are very expensive. The reason there is such low availability at launch is because those Founders cards have limited availability for said fancy coolers. Not the dies, the coolers. But you know, that doesn't really explain why AIB supplies would be limited. They've had their designs submitted to nVidia for a while now. And according to my source, the truth is that there isn't technically a shortage of those Founders Edition coolers. nVidia could have more if they wanted more. They just aren't ordering more because they want scarcity by design, at least around launch. So now, if you haven't connected the dots already, let me do it for you and spell out the real purpose of nVidia's extravagant Founders coolers. Making sure reviewers have the best samples, as they will likely be the best yields, with the best coolers, and at an alluring price, a price most gamers won't be able to get them for by design. Yes, AIB cards will be in short supply at launch, but nVidia plans to stuff the channels in October. So do you see what nVidia's ultimate play is? Intentionally causing a dearth of Ampere stock around launch, allowing supply and demand to inflate the street price of Ampere when those beautiful $700 Founders Edition cards instantly sell out, and then ultimately forcing AIBs to sell most of their models well above MSRP due to the required cost downs that will be in ample supply once the street price is elevated.
Well, a lot of your tech reviewers are actually getting the 30 series cards in now, and while a lot of them are saying, yay, these are the best things ever, well, we just found out that the cards that the reviewers got are these extremely powerful, above average of what the cards are actually going to sell in stores. They got the Founders Edition cards in. And we also find out that nVidia is purposely selling a very limited amount of these 30 series cards to inflate the price of the 30 series. Everybody's going to want one of these cards, especially at the price point, with the 3070 being $500 and the 3080 being $700. The 3070 being twice as powerful, the 3080 being 4 times as powerful as a 2080 Ti. These are going to fly off the shelf. And it seems like this is exactly something that nVidia would do. They are going to be selling us a very limited amount of these amazing Founders Edition cards that are going to actually hold up to what they're saying. And then the rest of us are going to get the dumbed down version that are going to be 2-3 times as expensive due to inflation because they're trying to force scarcity. This is absolute garbage. And they are going to make these Founders Edition cards extremely scarce. And I think this is absolute trash. Especially coming from nVidia. You already lost a huge base of nVidia purchasers through the abhorrent upgrade that was supposed to be the 20 series cards. A 1080 Ti performed just as good as a 2070 Super, a 2080. Even close to what the 2080 Ti did. The only thing that the 20 series cards gave you was ray tracing. That was about it. Other than that, the performance of the 10 series cards were right on par with the 20 series cards, and that was a lot of people's complaints. Now, I myself do have a 2080 Ti, and I do like the performance of it, but I've also never had a 1080 Ti, so I really can't actually compare the two together. When the 20 series came out is really the first time I actually dipped my toes into PC gaming. Prior to that, I was a huge Sony fanboy, which is why, of course, my name is Sony Pony, because I was a Sony fanboy. But the issue that we're now running into with these 30 series cards coming is they are purposely forcing scarcity to drive the prices of the 30 series cards through the roof. Because it's supply and demand. You run out within one day. When you get the stock back in, you double the price. More money you can make off the item that people want to purchase. And I think that is just anti-consumer. If you're saying they're going to be $500, it should be locked at $500. No matter what. I don't care supply and demand. I don't care about that. If you're saying $30, $70, $4.99, $30, $80, $6.99, that's what it should be. Not, hey, here's 10 cards per store, divide them up however you need to, and then as soon as those sell out, sell the $30.70 for $9.99, and sell the $30.80 for $12.99, and sell the $30.90 for $24.99. Because that's what's going to end up happening, is the prices of these cards are going to double. Now, according to Moore's Law, what he is saying that he got from a reliable source is that they're purposely doing that to inflate the prices of it, and then come the end of October, the store shelves are going to be stockpiled with nVidia 30 series cards, and the prices will not drop. They are going to stay really high, so that way nVidia can make a lot of their money back, because supposedly with the Founders Edition cards, nVidia is going to be losing money on selling these, because the Founders Edition fan cost them maybe $200, $300, $400 for it. And this really kind of ruffles my skirt, I guess you could say, because you've already gotten into the bad grace of people with your 20 series cards, with its lack of substantial performance compared to the 10 series cards, besides this ray tracing that really wasn't implemented in that many games. For people that purchased a 20 series card like myself, you got like 5 or 6 games that actually utilize ray tracing, and not that well. And when you actually turn ray tracing on, your performance dips down so bad you might as well just turn it off, because what's the point? Even with a 2080 Ti, if you have HDR and ray tracing on, good luck getting past 4 frames per second. You're going to have to choose HDR or ray tracing, because you can't do them both, because even the 2080 Ti series card just isn't powerful enough to hold it. Now, that's a little exaggeration. With HDR and ray tracing on, the 2080 Ti can hit like 30, 35 frames per second in really demanding areas, as well as about 40 frames per second in less demanding areas. But for how much a 2080 Ti costs, I should be able to have HDR and ray tracing on and still hit a minimum of 60 frames per second, which is what nVidia is saying that the 3070 Plus will be able to do. HDR, ray tracing, 60 frames per second. And if you want HDR ray tracing 4K, then you're going to want the 3090. But come to find out, they are going to, like I said, and I'll say again, purposely cause scarcity to drive the prices through the roof. And I think this is just absolutely insane. So if this is how nVidia is trying to get back in the good graces of their customers by cheating them, I'm sorry, but what's going to happen is when RDNA 2 come out, people are going to buy RDNA 2. Because I was going to buy a 30 series card as soon as I found out the performance and the price of these, But after I find this out, that they're purposely limiting the amount of Founders Edition cards so that way they can drive the prices of those through the roof. As soon as I found this out, I'm like, what's the point of even buying one then? I'm going to wait until October to find out exactly what RDNA 2 is going to be. And maybe I'll just go ahead and stick with AMD's new RDNA 2s. Because what nVidia is doing is just absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. I just think this is just another way for nVidia to fall back into even worse graces with their customers. Are you planning on buying the new nVidia card? I was all set. I was saving up the money. I was going to put down the $700 for the 3080, but after I found this out, nope, I'm not buying it. I will wait until EVGA, MSI, Gigabyte, I'll wait for them to actually get the go-ahead to make their cards, and we'll see what we get through them and the price point through them.
Tell them if they actually manage to become strong.
So I don't know, I guess leave a comment down below what you guys think about this. Let's have a discussion about this. Are you going to purchase a 30 series card, or are you going to go RDNA 2? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.